Hello my fellow comrades, it is SoldierDude Gaming here, and welcome back to another Arma 3 Antistasi episode. However, this is not going to be your usual playthrough. This is going to be a tips and tricks video that I decided to make after seeing a bunch of comments and people posting about how to do certain things in Antistasi. So I figured I would give you guys a bit of an early Christmas present for you all to enjoy, and sort of just tell you guys some of the things that I've learned and some of the features on Antistasi so you can, you know, basically be a more effective guerrilla fighter and leader, and just learn some of the features of Antistasi for you to use in the future. And if I do sound like I'm a little, under the weather, well, you would be correct. I have been a little sick recently, so yeah, that would be the reason why I don't really sound, you know, the best. But nonetheless, I figured I would want to hurry and make this video before I go on a 3-week vacation. So, but yeah, I figured I would make this episode for you guys before I have to leave for a little while. And I just seen a lot of people talk about stuff on Antistasi that they don't know about. So I figured I would just try to help you guys out and, you know, actually give you guys some tips and stuff like that. So yeah. In this episode, I'm going to go over four little tips and tricks that I have learned, and stuff that I'll, you know, probably help a lot of you guys out in the future when you're playing Antistasi. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you guys have any suggestions or questions, be sure to let me know down in the comments. I'll also help out in the Discord server if you want to join that too. But, yeah, just kick back, relax, maybe take a few notes if you guys want to, and enjoy. So, one of the basics that any guerrilla fighter needs to know is how to properly ambush an enemy convoy. Whether that convoy is containing a high-ranking officer, some fellow prisoners of war, or perhaps a truck full of weapons and equipment for you to either blow up or capture for yourselves. So, here is my strategy to y'all how to take down an enemy convoy. So before you actually set up the ambush, one thing you might do is maybe recon the outpost or the base where the convoy is coming from so you can get a better idea at what vehicles are in the convoy and what you need to take them out, and what you need to prioritize taking out, such as an armored vehicle like an APC or a tank, or maybe a truck full of infantry that you don't want to, you know, handle when all the soldiers get out and start firing at you. So why not blow the truck up with the soldiers in it before they can even jump out and start shooting at you? The next step is preparing your ambush. Now, a suitable position in my mind is in a sort of valley area, or at least where the convoy is a lower height than you are. Or at least if you can't get the height advantage, at least be in good cover, such as behind some walls, or even like in a city if that's where you're planning to ambush the convoy. You have to have the advantage because, you know, you're just a bunch of guerrilla fighters taking down a military convoy, and guerrilla fighting is all about basically improvising and using what you have to your advantage. So be sure to maybe block off the road, maybe to halt the convoy's advance, and also be sure to place your troops in at least the front where the convoy is traveling down the road, so that way you can stop the convoy there and don't let them through. And then maybe even have some troops to the right and left, maybe one or the other side of the road, so that way you have like a sort of crossfire going on, so they'll have two different places to shoot at and concentrate at, so it'll definitely take their attention off just one flank when they're getting shot at from multiple different directions. And it's also good to carry some anti-tank equipment, or at least maybe some landmines or remote explosives, so that way you can destroy any high-value targets in the convoy that could potentially lead to your troops' demise, such as an APC or a tank or anything like that. One thing I would definitely recommend is perhaps having an armed vehicle on the road where the convoy is going. So the plan is as follows. Step 1, take out the lead vehicle, or at least one of the main lead vehicles that'll block the convoy. Then, blow up the rear vehicle so they have nowhere to escape, so they have nowhere to go backwards, they have nowhere to go forwards, and they're basically stuck. Then from there, you tell your troops to open fire, And then you start targeting vehicles and soldiers that can pose a real threat to you and your troops, such as machine gunners or, you know, anti-tank soldiers that could be a real threat to you. Then you just take out all the vehicles in the convoy and all the soldiers, well, you know, apart from the vehicle that you want to capture, and then you basically just take out all the main threats. Then you do a bit of cleanup work and taking out the last of the people in the convoy, and then you order you and your troops to slowly move in on the convoy, take what you want to get, and then get out of Dodge before the military can send in a counterattack. Because, yeah, you don't want to stay there for too long. Guerrilla tactics is all about hit and run and getting out as fast as you possibly can and not staying around for too long. So, take what you want to get, and then hurry and get out of there. Now, this next tip is meant for some people that didn't really know a whole lot about how to garrison some of your troops, because I've been seeing a lot of people in my comment section and in my Discord saying that they don't really know how to garrison troops at captured bases and stuff like that. So I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of a tutorial on how to do that. So there are 3 ways that I figured out how to garrison your troops at a captured outpost or a town or anything like that. The first way is the easy way. You basically open up your commander menu, which is the Control-T button, well, Control-T keybind, and then you go to your section where you recruit soldiers, and then you just hit that button that says Recruit Units, and then you can go on the map and then select what outpost or town that you want to put your troops on. And then you basically just zoom in on the icon, and then once that is done, you basically just click the button, and then there's a list of soldiers that you can recruit from there. There is Rifleman, which is, you know, your standard rifleman. He'll be carrying around a rifle. There's the Auto Rifleman, which is basically another word for machine gunner. There is the Medic, which is self-explanatory. He's a medic. There's the Anti-Tank Soldier, which, you know, takes out armored vehicles. And then you have your Grenadier, which uses a grenade launcher. You have your Marksman, which is usually armed with a marksman rifle. And then you have your Squad Leader, which is kind of self-explanatory. He's the leader of the squad. And then you just select what units you want to put on your outpost or garrison, and then you should see a button or the notification in the top right showing you how many troops are at that outpost when you recruit some. And then you could just kind of look at the numbers and see what you need to recruit. So maybe you have a lack of medics, so I want to get some more of those, or maybe a lack of anti-tank soldiers. Now, the second and third ways are pretty similar, if not identical. Second way is you open up your Y menu, so you hit the Y button, and then you should see a button that says Recruit Units. And then you should be able to select a whole group of different squads and stuff like that. And then you basically just select how much troops you want, or how big of a squad. You call them in, maybe you're at HQ, so you might want to get them a vehicle. And then you just place the vehicle down, and then the soldiers will automatically board the vehicle whenever they're spawned in. And then they'll get to the vehicle, and then if you open up the map and hit Control Space to open up the High Command menu, you should be able to order your vehicle with your soldiers around to whatever outpost you want to garrison. And then you just move them to that outpost or whatever place you want to garrison. And then I would then transfer them to the garrison by selecting the unit, hitting Y, going to AI management, and then do garrison units. And then all you gotta do is just double click the place you want to garrison, and then boom, they are now part of the garrison there. It's sort of the same situation with the third way. Basically, you just go to your flagpole, and you just recruit some units of your own in your own squad. Then you select them, hit the Y button, go to AI management, and then hit garrison units, and then yeah, double click the garrison where you want to garrison them. And this is usually used whenever you can't recruit soldiers at an outpost because there might be enemies nearby or there's soldiers attacking the outpost. So sometimes it's best for you to recruit your own soldiers at a different outpost and then send them there to garrison that outpost. So that's another option that you could do in case you can't do the first. Moving on to the next tip, which is something that I feel is very important in Antistasi, discussing artillery, whether it be an 81mm mortar an artillery tank, or perhaps a multiple rocket launch system. Artillery can be very, very useful in Antistasi. However, it comes with one downside. You shoot too many rounds off with your artillery, the enemy is going to triangulate your position of the artillery and send either their own artillery to destroy it, a airstrike, or maybe send in a squad of enemy soldiers via helicopter insertion. And that's not too good. So here's a few tips for you guys on how to make sure that your artillery doesn't get blown into the next universe by a bunch of bombs dropped from a close air support fighter. So the first tip is making sure that your artillery is mobile. So perhaps you have a mortar. In Antistasi Plus, you can load that mortar into the back of a vehicle, whether it be a transport truck or even just some pickup truck you stole from a nearby town. Then, you can basically order that vehicle to move around whenever it is in danger, or when it's going to get, shot at by artillery. So, after you shoot off all the rounds you want, it's best to probably move that vehicle somewhere where it's in a safe location, so that way if they send a quick response force or an airstrike, when they get there, they won't find that artillery vehicle. The second option is making sure that your artillery is protected with perhaps an anti-aircraft tank, or maybe a squad of infantry and a machine gun. A 50 cal machine gun, to be exact. But that's the downside, is that artillery could be launched against you, and so yeah, your soldiers won't really be able to do much against artillery, and probably won't even have a time to react to a Su-25 Frogfoot buzzing over them and then dropping bombs at their feet. So it's probably best for you to get something that will be able to detect at least aircraft that are coming your way. And one of the personal favorites of mine, or at least with the Red Hammer Studios mods, is the ZSU-23-4V Shilka anti-aircraft tank, or as I like to call it, the Fighter Annihilator. It's armed with 4 23mm autocannons, which are completely designed to annihilate anything in the sky that is not on your side. And as an added boost, it also comes with a radar, so you can detect planes as soon as they take off from their airstrip, and shoot them down as soon as they get in range of your 23mm guns. So if you want to defend your artillery from airstrikes and soldiers inserted via helicopter, the ZSU-23-4V Shilka is perfectly qualified for the job. Alright, enough shilling about the ZSU for a second. Let's get back to the actual point of this whole video. So, the third option is not only your artillery being mobile, but also protected. So basically combining both methods together, making sure your artillery is mobile and also protected, which is usually what I do every single time. Make sure that it can escape if it needs to, and also have a little buddy or two to cover its escape and make sure it doesn't get destroyed. And for the last tip in this video, here's a little something for people that like to do some sniping in Antistasi and also how to take out an outpost in the process. So, say you're in the early game in Antistasi. You don't have a whole lot of resources, and neither does your army. You barely have any weapons, apart from maybe a few ARs, and maybe a small collection of sniper rifles and scopes for you to use, and also a decent amount of ammo. So, one thing you want to do, if you're trying to assault a base that maybe has something you need, maybe it be a base with some ammo trucks or something inside of it, or a factory which can give you a decent amount of money, and also help you build some new fortifications. Which will probably be something I'll talk about in another video. But anyways, one way you can take out an outpost is maybe you won't take out a lot of the soldiers there, but you will clear the way for your troops to take over the outpost. Basically what you do, you grab a sniper rifle, maybe a bunch of ammo, if you got a whole bunch of that, or at least how much you think you'll need, and then what you do is you find a good position, maybe overlooking the outpost, or at least it has a good view of the outpost. Then you try to scout out what type of soldiers are there at the outpost and what the defenses are. And then what you do, you prioritize targets for your troops to move in. So if you want your troops to move in and take the outpost, you're going to need to pave the way for them. So prioritize taking out machine gunners, anti-tank soldiers, and maybe even grenadiers, because those guys can be pretty pretty ugly whenever you're going against them, as they can decimate entire infantry squads with one grenade. So be sure to take them out too. Maybe even snipers if you see them, machine gun emplacements. Maybe even get a lucky shot on a crew member on a tank that's there, if they have an APC or tank guarding the area. And then, once you think the path is all clear, or maybe you just want to keep shooting at some of the guys there, you can call in your troops, and then they'll go in and take care of some of the regular soldiers at the outpost, and then you can continue taking out some of the guys that are shooting back at them. And then, basically, once it's all said and done, you can move into the outpost, capture it, and then it's yours, and then you'll just have to take out the enemy counterattack. However, if you just don't really do anything and you send your troops in, could have some devastating consequences, as your vehicles that you send them in could get completely destroyed by RPGs, or your troops will get completely mowed down by machine gun fire, completely wasting the lives of a bunch of revolutionary brothers, and just letting them bleed out in the dirt, where you could have stopped that by taking out machine guns or some of the grenadiers or anything like that. So it's important to prioritize taking out anything that could be a really bad threat to your soldiers. So yeah, anti-tank soldiers, machine guns, grenadiers, and maybe even snipers, as those guys can be pretty deadly sometimes, especially the ones in the antenna towers. So yeah, be sure to kill those guys as fast as you can. But yeah, that's one way to take out an outpost. And I think that's about it for this little tips and tricks video. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this one. I've been wanting to make this for a little while because I've seen a lot of people that don't really know a lot about Antistasi. They don't really know like a whole lot about some of the stuff in the game mode. So figured out to make this video to try to help you guys out, and it's just like an early Christmas present before I have to leave for like 3 weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if you need help with anything in Antistasi, or if you want me to make a video about something that you want me to talk about more, or maybe give my insights into, to maybe give you guys some more advice, sort of. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you guys have anything in particular you want to tell me or ask me. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it was certainly fun making all these clips and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys again soon. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll see you guys again in 3 or 4 weeks or so. So bye, take care everybody, have a happy new year, and happy holidays everybody. So yeah, take care everybody. God, as if trying not to stutter every 30 seconds isn't hard enough, I'm trying not to cough every 60 frickin' seconds while frickin' recording this.